Hi guys, it's Sheena from Teton Raptor Center and I'm here to give you all this week's patient update, so let's go ahead and get started. To kick things off this week, I want to highlight some recent releases. Here we have Longeared Owl 8-1 going back out into the wild. The next bird that was released was Northern Saw-Whet Owl 1014. This bird came from Jackson after a window strike. And here's some footage of right before we released him. We were just making sure his flight was strong enough for flying out in the wild. So here he is flight conditioning in his enclosure. You can see he's got these beautiful flights back and forth and he's able to turn right on a dime and just head in the other direction pretty quickly. So this is a slow-mo video of that. And then one last thing we did was check to see how old this bird was and put a band on it. And one way that we can determine the age is by using a UV light and shining it on their flight feathers. That helps us determine what molt patterns might have happened along the way. And finally, here is the video of him flying back out into the wild for the first time since his window strike. Moving right along to our current patients, here we have Great Horned Owl 1023 from Rexburg, Idaho. And this bird came in with some head trauma and a really heavy internal parasite load. Those parasites are completely gone, and we did another follow-up check just to make sure, so we're excited about that. And this bird will be moving out of the ICU and into the PCU, where he'll have a lot more space this week. Next up is Red-Tailed Hawk 1021 from Lander, Wyoming. And this bird got hit by a car and was dealing with some internal hemorrhaging. He's actually doing really well and we would like to begin flight conditioning with him. We just want to see that he's gaining some weight and eating on his own first. Next up, we've got Cooper's Hawk 925B. This bird came in from Jackson, Wyoming with a fractured scapula. He was actually undergoing flight conditioning, but we actually decided to dial it back a little bit because he was still having a little bit of a wing droop on that left wing. So we have him on some anti-inflammatory medication and we're doing more physical therapy before we begin flight conditioning again with him. Next up is Swainsons Hawk 818, and this is the bird that came in from Etna, Wyoming with an ulna fracture in the right wing. Similar to the Cooper's Hawk, he's just getting some more physical therapy before we start flight conditioning again with him. Last but not least is Fenus Hawk 82, and this bird came in with an injured eye, and we ended up having to remove the eye completely surgically. He is pain-free now, however, he can't go back to the wild with only one eye as a hatchier bird. Here he is in his enclosure interacting with some enrichment, and eventually, once the permits go through, he will be moving to a center in Texas where he will serve as an educational ambassador and help teach people about ferruginous hawks. All right, that's all we've got for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about our birds. Remember that if you want to do your part to help keep wild birds wild, you can check out our website at tetonraptorcenter.org and make a donation. You can also click the description. There's a link below down there where you can donate. Thank you guys. Bye.